So I was chilling on my good man dive server when some dude named One Punch Bro added everyone. So I know from experience that adding everyone is a bad idea, but if you have a really good thing to show for it. So I checked it out. It was a video. Now, not anything outrageous, the quality is good, and the timing is all smooth, but I just flat out disagree. I need to debunk it. I DM'd him and no response yet, but I found making a video would be more active, because I could self-promote myself. That being said, here's your video.
Him on par with, if not equal to, Post-Crisis, even though New 52 is half of Post-Crisis. Check out the collab video done by Dave, Valor, and myself if you want more info for time's sake.
So I understand Post-Crisis isn't the weakest, but I mean, does that really matter? If he's not the weakest, that's just making Seth's point more valid. Seth putting him at the weakest is kind of validating Superman's power.
Let's just jump to Jiren. People all over the net started hyping the so-called quote-unquote feat of Jiren deflecting this multiversal spirit bomb, making Jiren casually quote-unquote multiversal. This is downright wrong in all hype. The spirit bomb is a last-ditch effort plot device. If Goku and friends can't beat whoever they're fighting, Goku just borrows a sliver of energy from everything around him and hurls it at an evil enemy. Jiren is a Pride Trooper from Universe 11. The Pride Troopers are a team of superhero-like beings that fight for justice. They're kinda like a play on the Justice League or Avengers, if you will, interpreted by Akira Toriyama. If Jiren and the Pride Troopers are good guys, then it makes sense that he, along with the rest of the Pride Troopers, should be able to, or would be able to, deflect a spirit bomb, much like how Kid Gohan did in the Saiyan saga.
Okay, so I want to point out that many things have been retconned, but that was because Gohan's extremely pure intent. Jiren, however, was foreshadowed to be not as pure as he seemed, with a wish that could have been selfish. I'm not saying that completely debunks his point, but I am saying that just because Gohan deflected a weak little spirit bomb that wasn't even planet-sized, doesn't mean that Jiren deflecting this huge spirit bomb gathered from all the Universal Fighters is completely valid.
The next point that debunks the argument for this so-called feat is that Goku only takes a sliver of energy from his surroundings. Considering the majority of the people around Goku were pretty much tapped out anyway, this means this spirit bomb isn't multiversal or even universal for that matter. But what?
It's not even universal. I mean, come on. Even if we say Super Saiyan God Goku is universal, that would mean we at least have Frieza, Gohan, and everyone else combined. That would at least be a few universes, wouldn't it?
What about Jiren stopping Goku's fist with one finger? Still really can't say for a fact that Goku is universal or multiversal. We have yet to get a solid feat for this and really can't just hang on statement. As Seth says, Superman saying he is confident in his ability to take explosions from stars is just a statement. So is Goku's quote-unquote universal feat until proven otherwise. I've made many valid arguments about this in the past that still hold, such as the shockwaves getting stronger the farther they got from the source, angles at which punches were thrown, etc. That's another thing that further debunks this. Seth says all the time that we can't just use statements.
So anyway, this is one of the many downplays Goku gets is, oh, the shockwaves got bigger as they moved on. My problem with this is it doesn't really work. Like, people can compare it to like a snowball rolling down a hill. But the difference is that a snowball has gravity against it, which is a force that's always constant no matter how big the snowball gets, so long as it's smaller than Earth. But imagine the same thing on a flat plane. If you don't throw the snowball very hard, it's gonna shrink before it gets bigger. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
To define how strong a character is. Well, Jiren is literally a character with nothing but statements to go off of. We really don't have any set in stone feats for this character that can't be debunked in one way or another.
Well, what is a feat? Unless it actually shows something getting destroyed, how do we know that it's not just a fake or a ploy or an illusion? You can't say that it's just a statement every time. Everything is just a statement. It's how the human language works. The fact that I'm alive is just a statement. What does that mean? Well, it means my heart's beating, but that's just a statement.
Seth also put his foot in his mouth when he tried to lowball the feat of Superman surviving the collision of two galaxy-sized planets, saying Superman couldn't absorb the full force of the explosion due to his surface area. This would also completely debunk the quote-unquote universal feat of Goku as well, due to Goku's fist being so small and not covering a...
I personally disagree with the whole surface area situation because you're still surviving the impact. Like, if you get hit by a car, you're still surviving 2,000 pounds of force. Where else does the surface area go? But using the Goku fist thing doesn't work because it's a strength feat and not a durability feat. If you're going to say that his fist can't absorb the whole force, that's wrong because his fist and another fist created the force.
Huge surface area. It's really funny how Seth is willing to pull so many double standards and excuses for Dragon Ball characters, but none for other characters.
I do agree with that, but I still don't think that's a good example.
Seth says Superman is very inconsistent and has many different writers with different opinions about the character, but these different opinions aren't as drastic, nor are they as different as a lot of people say they are. If you want to classify Superman's impressive feats as highballs, we need to do the same for Goku, considering Goku hasn't shown consistent evidence of universal power since his fight with Beerus. Don't just cherry pick.
Well, he kind of has. I mean, there was the hyperbolic time chamber, there is how Buhan and Dragon Ball Z Kai almost destroyed the universe, and if you're gonna say it's not canon, it still has author intent put into it. I mean, because why would they put it in there if they don't agree with it at all? But I see what you're saying. But there are a few consistent feats for it.
Pick and downplay to fit your argument, but be mad when someone else does the same. They said New 52 was the weakest Superman and put Post-Crisis at planet to star level. But New 52 has shown consistent feats being over planet or star level, and so has Post-Crisis. Every version of Superman has more consistent feats than Goku. This is fact. If you...
I kind of agree that Goku's feats are inconsistent, but Superman's are too.
Actually read the comics instead of constantly looking for ways to downplay, you know that the time Superman has been knocked out by stars and such were at the beginning of his career or the beginning of him learning his powers and ability.
The argument works for Goku, but when people use it for Superman, I always feel a bit like it doesn't work because Superman's powers come from the sun. He's not gaining strength. I mean, people say he is and that he absorbs more radiation than he uses, which makes him stronger. But how does that work? There's never been a time where Superman, without any sort of training or new ability gain, just won a fight for no reason. Like, if there was multiple times where Superman had won a battle for absolutely no reason, like 2 days later, with no plan, no new powers, no training, no extra motivation, and no experience gains, then yes, you could say that, but I really don't understand.
It's as if people forget that heroes can have a learning curve to their powers and abilities. Post-Crisis has broken barriers between dimensions, fighting an alternate version of himself. This literally puts anything Goku and Jiren have done to Now, I know people are probably going to bring up the Boo arc, as Diphonoid did in his video, and there's a debunk coming of that video later. But one thing we have to realize is that the hyperbolic time chamber has been stated and shown in DBZ to be only planetary in size.
1. The hyperbolic time chamber doesn't have a roof, therefore it is infinite in size. I'm not saying Vegeta was infinite when he destroyed it, but that's at least universe level. And 2, it's still a pocket dimension. Now, this feat and the whole warping reality feat would be unquantifiable. That's not just a fancy word.